the law of focus. What does that mean? That means where we put our attention, what we focus on is what grows. So thinking about that as like one of the laws of karma, under karma, you're thinking, well, how is that karmic? Well, because we create our reality. So if we're creating our reality, what we're focusing on is growing and is mirrored back to us. That falls under karma, right? You get what you give. So if your focus is on, let's see, let me think. If your focus is on, let's say, what everybody else has and what you don't have, right? That's a common one, right? That's common because, especially now with social media, we're always like, you know, seeing and comparing, you know, what everybody else has and what we don't have. It's super easy to, you know, feel not good enough, feel jealous, feel insecure. You know, you go down that rabbit hole of, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So of course, you're focusing, where you're putting your gaze is growing. So if you're scrolling and all you're thinking of is, oh, well, look at what they have, you know, well, I should have that. And oh, look at what they have and look at what they're doing. Why aren't I doing it? Life's not fair. You're going to get more experiences of life isn't fair. I mean, life isn't fair. It's just the reality. You know, some people, you know, are born with supportive parents who have nurtured them their whole lives, who they were born into money, and, you know, they just continued on that story, but that's their story. Your story may be something different. So, you focusing outside of yourself on what you don't have only brings more of what you don't have. So being super hyper aware of what you're focusing on and what you're gazing upon is really, really important. If you want to live a peaceful life and peace is super important to you, maybe you shouldn't be in relationships with people that are not peaceful. Maybe you shouldn't be watching so much violence or drama on television or in the series or reading those kind of books. Maybe you should start acting from a place of peace and showing that it to the world, knowing that it's going to come back to you, right? Maybe those are the things that you should be focusing on. Maybe meditating and concentrating on peace is where you should be putting your focus. If you're asking for peace, but you're in toxic relationships, watching violent shows, reading violent books, and absorbing that toxic energy, and you expect peace to come into your life, you're being delusional. It just doesn't work that way. You want peace? Be peaceful. You want love? Be loving. You want abundance? Know that you can have, first, know you can have the abundance. And second, live from a place of abundance. That doesn't mean financially all of a sudden you have to take over paying everybody's bills. You might not be able to physically do that, but you could certainly be abundant with your time and being present with people, and abundant on sharing love and loyalty and giving people time. People just want your time, validating people. There's so many things that we can do that we forget, because what we focus on most of the time, and we've all do it, and I still catch myself doing it sometimes, and I have to remind myself, is focusing on what I don't have and not what I do have, right? And that's why I say the most powerful way to manifest is through gratitude, because it brings my focus back to what I do have. All right. Thought I would share that with you. See you next time.